You know what separates people who build wealth from people who stay broke their entire lives? It's not intelligence. It's not luck. It's not even hard work. It's invisible habits. While everyone's obsessing over visible status symbols, cars, clothes, watches, the truly wealthy are quietly practicing daily disciplines that no one sees. These habits don't make for good Instagram posts. They don't impress your neighbors, but they silently compound into generational wealth while everyone else wonders what they're doing wrong. Today, I'm revealing 10 invisible habits that keep most people poor while a select few get obscenely rich. And here's the thing, you can start any of these today, right now, no capital required, just different choices. If you're ready to stop reacting to life and start designing it, hit that subscribe button and comment invisible wealth below. Let's expose what the rich do when nobody's watching. Here's what most people do. Alarm goes off, immediately grab phone, scroll social media, check emails, react to other people's priorities. By the time they start their actual day, their brain is already scattered across 20 different directions. The wealthy, completely different approach. They treat the first 2 to 3 hours after waking as sacred, untouchable time. No phone, no emails, no meetings, no distractions. This is their strategic time. The time when their brain is sharpest, most creative, most capable of deep work. Jeff Bezos famously doesn't schedule morning meetings. He does his highest leverage thinking before 10 a.m. Tim Cook is in the gym at 4:30 in the morning, not checking email. Warren Buffett reads for hours every morning before the market even opens. Your morning sets your psychological framework for the entire day. If you start reactive, responding to texts, emails, social media, you stay reactive all day. You're in defense mode, putting out fires, never getting to what actually matters. If you start proactive, focused on your priorities, your goals, your strategic thinking, you stay in control all day. The rich understand that the morning is when you win or lose the day. Not at noon, not at 5 p.m., the first 3 hours. Phone stays on airplane mode until after morning routine. First hour is for exercise, meditation, or strategic thinking. Second hour is for the most important project, the one thing that actually moves the needle. Third hour might be for emails and admin, but only after the deep work is done. Most people give their best hours to other people's priorities. The wealthy guard their best hours like their life depends on it because their wealth does. Starting tomorrow, don't touch your phone for the first 60 minutes after waking. Use that hour for something that builds your future. Reading, learning a skill, working on your side business, exercising. Just 60 minutes, protected, sacred, non-negotiable. Watch what happens to your productivity, your clarity, your progress toward actual goals. This sounds absurd to most people. Schedule time to think? Isn't that what you do all day? No, most people never actually think. They react, they execute, they respond, but they don't think strategically about their life, their business, their direction. Bill Gates takes think weeks twice a year. He goes to a secluded cabin with nothing but books and his thoughts. No meetings, no phone calls, just thinking. Ray Dalio blocks time every day for what he calls reflection and principles refinement. Warren Buffett's calendar is famously empty. He spends hours every day just thinking, reading, analyzing, because thinking doesn't feel productive. It doesn't check boxes, it doesn't create immediate results, it feels like doing nothing. So people fill their calendars with meetings, tasks, busy work, anything that creates the illusion of productivity. But here's the truth. 1 hour of deep strategic thinking can be worth more than a week of busy work. It's asking yourself hard questions. Am I working on the right things or just the urgent things? Is this project actually moving me toward my goals or am I just busy? What would I do differently if I started over today with what I know now? Who am I spending time with? And are they lifting me up or holding me back? Where will I be in 5 years if I keep doing exactly what I'm doing now? These questions are uncomfortable. That's why most people avoid them. The wealthy force themselves to sit with discomfort because that's where real insight lives. Block 2 hours this week, yes. 2 full hours with nothing on your calendar. No phone, no distractions. Just you, a notebook, and uncomfortable questions about your life and direction. You'll resist this. Your brain will tell you it's a waste of time. That's your programming keeping you stuck. The wealthy schedule thinking time because they know clarity is more valuable than activity. Here's an uncomfortable truth. Most of modern spending is about impressing people you don't even like. Fancy car is for other people to see. Designer clothes, performance for strangers. Expensive watch, status signaling to people who don't care about you. The average person spends thousands, sometimes tens of thousands, trying to look successful to people whose opinions literally don't matter. The wealthy have a completely different psychology. They know that real wealth whispers. It doesn't need validation because it's secure in itself. Think about this. There are maybe 6 to 10 people whose opinions actually matter to your happiness. Your spouse, your kids, your parents, maybe 3 to 5 close friends. That's it. That's the list. Everyone else, strangers, acquaintances, coworkers you'll never see again, their opinion of you is worth exactly 0. Yet, people spend their lives performing for an audience that isn't watching and wouldn't care, even if they were. Mark Zuckerberg wears a gray t-shirt and jeans. Worth over $100 billion, dresses like a college student. Warren Buffett drives a modest car and lives in the same house he bought in 1958. These aren't people who can't afford luxury. They choose not to waste energy on validation. They've realized something profound. The people whose respect they actually want don't care about surface level status symbols. They care about character, about substance, about real accomplishment. Once you stop performing for strangers, you free up massive amounts of money and mental energy. That $300 dinner you posted on Instagram, nobody cares 24 hours later. That luxury car payment eating 30% of your income is buying approval from people who forgot about you 5 seconds after you drove past. The wealthy invest that money instead. They build real wealth that nobody sees until it's so large it can't be ignored. Audit your last month of spending. How much went toward things you bought to impress other people versus things that genuinely improve your life? Cut one status purchase this month. Invest the difference. Stop posting every purchase, every meal, every experience on social media. Live your life for yourself, not for the validation of strangers scrolling on their phones. While everyone's chasing the next hot crypto, the next meme stock, the next get-rich-quick scheme, the wealthy are doing something that sounds painfully boring. Index funds, boring. Real estate, boring. Starting an actual business with real customers, boring. Maxing out retirement accounts, boring. But here's what's not boring: becoming a millionaire while everyone else stays broke. Human brains are wired for novelty and excitement. That's why casinos work. That's why people gamble on crypto instead of investing in index funds. Boring doesn't feel like progress. It doesn't create the dopamine hit of a quick win. But wealth isn't built on dopamine hits. It's built on compounding boring decisions over decades. Warren Buffett. The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. His entire fortune? Boring stocks held for decades. Peter Lynch. The best stock to buy may be the one you already own. Not sexy, not exciting, but incredibly effective. Flashy investments attract attention, which drives up prices, which lowers returns. By the time something is exciting enough for the masses to notice, the real money has already been made. The wealthy get in early on boring opportunities and hold them while everyone else chases whatever's trending. Boring wins because it doesn't require constant attention. Set up automatic investments. Let them compound. Don't touch them. Flashy requires constant monitoring, creates emotional stress, leads to panic selling and FOMO buying. The wealthy understand that the best investment strategy is one you can stick with for 30 years. And the only strategy most people can stick with is boring. Open a low-cost index fund account this week. Start automatic monthly contributions. Then ignore it. Don't check it daily. Don't panic when it drops. Don't get excited when it rises. Just let it sit there being boring while it quietly makes you wealthy over decades. The flashy stuff will come and go. The boring stuff will still be there, compounding when you retire. You've heard the quote, "You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." The wealthy take this literally, aggressively, sometimes brutally. Energy vampires are people who drain you, complainers, drama creators, people who only talk about problems, never solutions, people who discourage your ambitions, who mock your goals, who pull you back into mediocrity because your growth makes them uncomfortable. Most people keep these relationships because of guilt, obligation, or fear of being alone. The wealthy cut them without hesitation. You only have so much mental and emotional energy every day. Every minute spent with someone who drains you is a minute you're not spending on building your future. Every conversation about drama is a conversation you're not having about strategy, growth, or opportunity. The wealthy protect their energy like they protect their money, because time and energy are the real currencies. List everyone you spent significant time with in the last month. Next to each name, write, do they lift me up or pull me down? Do they encourage my growth or mock my ambition? Do they solve problems or just complain about them? Be brutally honest. This isn't about whether they're nice people. It's about whether they're helping or hurting your trajectory. This is where it gets uncomfortable. Some people you'll need to completely remove from your life. Toxic relationships that serve no purpose. Others you'll need to dramatically reduce contact with. Maybe see them twice a year instead of twice a week. And a few, the ones who lift you up, you'll invest more time in. Yes, this might hurt feelings. Yes, people might call you cold or selfish. But here's what the wealthy understand. Protecting your future is more important than protecting someone else's comfort. Do the audit this week, write the names, Be honest about who helps and who hurts. Then make one change. Either cut contact with one toxic person or increase contact with one person who lifts you up. You don't have to explain. You don't have to justify. Just quietly restructure your time around people who support your growth. The poor buy things. The wealthy buy capabilities. When the poor get extra money, they buy a new TV, new clothes, maybe a vacation. When the wealthy get extra money, they buy courses, coaching, seminars, books, anything that makes them more capable. A $3,000 course might teach you a skill that generates $50,000 a year in extra income. A $3,000 designer bag does absolutely nothing for your earning capacity. One is an investment, the other is an expense. The wealthy see this distinction clearly. Most people don't. When you buy stuff, it loses value immediately. That car depreciates the second you drive it off the lot. When you buy skills, they appreciate forever. A skill you learn at 30 pays dividends for the next 40 years of your career. Better yet, skills can't be repossessed, can't be stolen, can't lose value in a recession. Your ability to code, to write persuasively, to analyze data, to negotiate these capabilities, travel with you everywhere, and generate value constantly. Bill Gates reads 50 books a year. That's at least one book per week. Warren Buffett spends 80% of his day reading. Mark Cuban says the best investment you can make is in yourself, learning new skills that increase your value in the marketplace. Instead of buying a new phone, take an online course. Instead of upgrading your car, hire a business coach. Instead of designer clothes, attend a conference in your industry. Every dollar spent on skills is a dollar invested in your earning potential. Identify one skill that would meaningfully increase your income if you mastered it. Maybe it's public speaking. Maybe it's data analysis. Maybe it's sales. Maybe it's digital marketing. Then spend what you would have spent on your next status purchase on learning that skill instead. One skill, one investment. Watch how it compounds over the next decade. This is the habit that separates pretend rich from actual rich. Most people suffer from lifestyle inflation. Get a raise, immediately upgrade lifestyle, better apartment, nicer car, more expensive restaurants. Income goes up, but savings don't. They're always living at exactly their earning level or beyond it. The wealthy reject this completely. Warren Buffett lives in the same house he bought in 1958 for $31,500. He's worth over $100 billion. Still the same house. Why? Because the gap between earning and spending is where wealth lives. If you earn $100,000 and spend $100,000, you're broke with a nice car. If you earn $100,000 and spend $60,000, you're building wealth at $40,000 a year. If you earn $200,000 and still spend $60,000, you're building wealth at $140,000 a year. Social media has destroyed this habit for millions of people. Everyone's performing success, fancy dinners, designer bags, exotic vacations, so everyone else feels pressure to keep up, to show they're successful too. The result? People spending everything they make and often more just to maintain an image. The wealthy don't play this game. They're secure enough to drive modest cars, wear normal clothes, live in reasonable houses, because they understand that real wealth is what you keep, not what you spend. Here's what most people don't realize. Living below your means doesn't feel like sacrifice. It feels like freedom. When you're not living paycheck to paycheck, you stop being desperate. You can walk away from bad jobs. You can take calculated risks. You can invest in opportunities. The gap between earning and spending is the space where options live. Calculate your current savings rate. If you earn $100,000 and save $10,000, that's 10%. Now set a goal to increase that by 5% over the next 6 months. Cut one recurring expense. Downgrade one service. Skip one unnecessary purchase each month. Take the difference and invest it immediately, automatically. The wealthy don't wait to save what's left after spending. They invest first, then live on what remains. There's a famous psychology experiment called the marshmallow test. Kids are offered one marshmallow now or 2 marshmallows if they wait 15 minutes. The kids who could wait, who could delay gratification, ended up more successful in life. Better grades, higher income, healthier relationships. Every day, you face a marshmallow test with money. Buy the thing now or invest the money and have more later. Spend the raise today or save it and retire earlier. Finance the car or drive your current one longer and invest the difference. The poor fail the marshmallow test constantly. They want it now. They need it now. They can't wait. The wealthy have trained themselves to wait, to delay, to prioritize future over present. Your brain is wired for immediate rewards. Instant gratification triggers dopamine. Delayed gratification requires overriding your natural wiring. It requires discipline, patience, long-term thinking. Most people can't do it. That's why most people stay broke. Delayed gratification isn't just about one decision. It's about thousands of small decisions compounding over decades. Skip the $5 coffee, invest it for 30 years at 7%, and you have over $50,000. One coffee decision, no big deal. 1,000 coffee decisions, life-changing wealth. They drive cars longer, much longer. They're not upgrading every 3 years. They avoid financing. If they can't pay cash, they wait until they can. They invest raises instead of spending them. Income goes up, lifestyle stays flat, wealth gap explodes. Practice the 10-day rule starting today. Before any purchase over $100, wait 10 days. Put it on a list. If you still want it in 10 days, fine. But most of the time, you'll realize you didn't actually need it. That one habit, just waiting 10 days, will save you thousands a year. Invest those savings and watch your future change. Here's something most people miss entirely. The wealthy treat their bodies like their most valuable asset because they understand something fundamental. All the money in the world is worthless if you're too sick to enjoy it. Poor people ignore health until there's a crisis. Then they're forced to deal with it, usually at enormous cost. The wealthy invest in health proactively, preventatively, aggressively. They don't wait for problems. They optimize before issues arise. Regular comprehensive checkups, not just basic physicals, full blood panels, hormone testing, metabolic analysis. Concierge doctors who actually spend time with them, not 15-minute appointments with overworked physicians. Personal trainers, nutritionists, sleep coaches. They treat health like a portfolio that needs active management. High quality food, even if it costs more. They know cheap food creates expensive health problems. The wealthy aren't training for aesthetics. They're training for endurance. They're not trying to look good in photos. They're building resilience so they can operate at peak performance for decades. They understand that burnout doesn't just destroy careers, it destroys dynasties. So they prioritize recovery as seriously as they prioritize work. Sleep, meditation, stress management. Here's what most people miss. Exhaustion isn't a badge of honor. It's a sign of poor management. You'll rarely find a wealthy person bragging about how busy they are or how little sleep they got. In their world, that's a confession of failure. It means they're managing their energy poorly. They optimize their energy as seriously as their investment portfolios. Because they've done the math, a CEO who's sharp, focused, and healthy makes better decisions than one running on fumes and caffeine. Schedule a comprehensive health checkup this month. Not just basic blood work, hormones, metabolic health, the full picture. Then implement one longevity habit starting today. Maybe it's a 20-minute walk every morning. Maybe it's committing to 7 hours of sleep. Maybe it's cutting processed sugar. Just one habit. The wealthy don't chase more hours in the day. They maximize the quality of the hours they already have. Your health is your wealth. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. This final habit ties everything together. Most people live in reaction mode their entire lives. They react to whatever crisis shows up, react to whatever trend is popular, react to whatever their friends are doing. The wealthy, completely different paradigm. They design their lives deliberately, architect their days intentionally, control what they can control and ignore the rest. Every morning routine we talked about, designed. Every energy vampire they cut, designed decision. Every delayed gratification choice, designed discipline. Every investment, designed strategy. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is left to chance. You can't control the economy, you can't control the stock market, you can't control what other people do, but you can control what time you wake up, how you spend your first 3 hours, who you spend time with, what you invest in, what you learn, what you eat, how you move your body. The wealthy maximize control over controllable factors and stop worrying about everything else. Because designing your life requires accepting responsibility. It's easier to blame the economy, your boss, your circumstances, bad luck. But the moment you start designing, you can't blame anyone anymore. You're the architect. Results are on you. The wealthy accept this burden because they want the control more than they want the excuse. Do this exercise right now. Write down everything you complained about last week, everything that happened to you. Now ask, which of these did I have control over but chose not to exercise it? Most of the time, you'll realize you have more control than you admitted. You just didn't want the responsibility. Start taking that responsibility. Design one aspect of your life this week instead of leaving it to chance. So here's what it all comes down to. These 10 habits aren't glamorous. They're not flashy. Most people will never even notice them. But they share one powerful philosophy: control. While most people live in reaction, reacting to trends, to temptations, to whatever crisis shows up, the wealthy live in design. They architect their mornings, their energy, their relationships, their health. Every single choice reduces chaos and increases freedom. Now here's what I want you to do. Don't try to change everything overnight. That's how people fail. Instead, pick one habit from this list, just one, and commit to it for the next 30 days. Maybe it's protecting your morning routine. Maybe it's scheduling thinking time. Maybe it's auditing where your energy goes. One habit, 30 days. That's how empires begin. Drop a comment below with the number of the habit you're starting with. Just type the number. Making it public increases your commitment. You're more likely to follow through. I read every single comment. I'll be cheering you on. Success is never accidental. Your daily choices are building your future right now. The only question is, what future are you building? Small shifts today create extraordinary results tomorrow. The invisible divide between rich and everyone else, it starts with what you do next. If this video opened your eyes to how the wealthy actually operate, smash that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Every week, we expose the invisible psychology behind wealth that most people never discover. And remember, these habits are invisible. That means you can start practicing them today and nobody will notice. Until 5 years from now when you're wealthy and they're still wondering what happened, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.